My name is Darcy Short, and I'll be delving into transgenerational trauma. What is it, and how can it be dealt with? So according to the DSM V, trauma can be described as actual or threatened death, serious injury, or sexual violence. Another definition that's worth adding is historical trauma. This is complex and collective trauma experienced over time and across generations by a group of people who share identities or circumstance. So moving on to transgenerational trauma. This is trauma that is transmitted over multiple generations, not just from the parent to the offspring. As a result of this, generations in the future are more likely to experience anxiety, depression, and PTSD. Moving on to the transmission of trauma. Epigenetics are the influence of genes through environmental cause. This influence of genes does not change the genetic makeup itself, but how they're read. In a study conducted by Yehuda et al. In 2014, adult offspring of Holocaust survivors were found to have a change in how their genes are read on FKB5. This gene is specifically associated with PTSD and depressive disorders. Attachment styles detail the lasting connection between human beings developed from infancy. These attachments include ambivalent, avoidant, disorganized, and secure. Studies found that ambivalent and avoidant attachment styles are more likely to develop in parents and children who have experienced trauma. So from the transmission of trauma, we can move to the road to healing. Trauma-focused cognitive behavioral therapy involves psychoeducation, parent-child sessions, and parenting skills, relaxation, and trauma narrative. Trauma-focused cognitive behavioral therapy is effective towards individual trauma, however, it would need to be adapted for minority groups. This is where the ADAPT model can come in. This links psychosocial factors to mental health outcomes in populations who have undergone extreme trauma. There are 5 main pillars within this: safety and felt security, attachment and bonds, justice, identity and roles, and meaning coherence. These each undergo threat, which results in either a normative adaptive outcome or a negative adaptive outcome. So when trauma-focused cognitive behavioral therapy and the ADAPT model is combined, we can see the result in WIALI. This is an Indigenous Australian organisation who focus on healing, sharing culture, and regenerating spirit. This will be especially beneficial to those Aborigines who have transgenerational trauma, as methods of healing are especially adapted to this specific minority group. For more information, head to the Wikiversity page on transgenerational trauma, link in the description. Through this presentation about transgenerational trauma, I hope it will help others in recognizing their own ingrained trauma, which is essential to acknowledge before starting the journey towards healing.